episode of I Am Negan, a TWD Universe podcast. My name is Adam Vale. I am a senior editor over at the Koalition. That's with a K, thekoalition.com. And I'm joined by editor in chief of the Coalition, Richard Bailey Jr.
What's up, Adam? What's up, listeners and viewers?
And Throwdown Show's own Carlos Romero.
Yo, yo, yo. 3 episodes left. 3 episodes left. Well, two after this.
Yeah, right. This is it. This is the final countdown now. And as I said right before we started, the name of this episode is Faith, and the faith implies for us, the viewers, the fans, can this show stick the landing? Can it give us something memorable? I doubt it.
Man.
Even go. What was that?
No, yeah. We'll get into it, but a lot of the scenes, and we talked about this during our text message exchanges, a lot of these scenes could have packed a lot more weight if we didn't know a lot of the future of this series is going to be.
Oh, yeah. I mean, let me crack open here because I got to get ready. All right, people. So this is for Season 11, Episode 22, Fate of the Walking Dead Mothership. If you have not watched this episode yet, you can over at amcplus.com. It's there. You can watch it early, a week early. If not, you can just wait until Sunday. So come back because we will be doing a spoiler right now. We're going to break down this episode, our thoughts, our opinions of not only the episode, but where this final season is headed right now. It looks like it's headed into the abyss because this is pretty bad. I'm upset, but not all doom and gloom because this episode was pretty good. It had some high points, which I did like. I really liked the cinematography with the lighting and everything. Something about it with the flashlights and Daryl and Connie reunited doing their missions. But we'll get into it. So people, if you have not watched this episode, don't get nasty. Don't get upset. You guys spoiled everything for me. No. You can go and watch on AMC Plus. If not, then we'll see you then. But you can check us out over on iTunes, Spotify, and of course on YouTube if you want to leave your comments and questions there. So we're I think I covered everything right there. So there we go. 3, 2, 1. Boop. All right, I want to just get this out the way because this is going to be eating me up throughout this entire episode if I wait till the very end. Do you believe that Coco is dead?
No. Coco is definitely not dead. There's I think the whole thing that they're trying to do is just, and I've been saying this, maybe they're trying to tease this as some sort of spin-off because we only have 2 episodes left. I don't know how much time we're going to be able to spend on Coco.
Well, here's the thing. If anyone, if you guys been listening to the show, then you know that I'm constantly saying that they need something impactful, an emotional impact, a connection to get people invested in this season.
I know why you're asking this now.
Yes, I kept saying that, and I said, Judith would die. If anyone, we always talked, we had a little discussion, who do you think would die that would cause that big stir? And I thought it would be Judith because
it's not going to be a kid. It's not going to be a kid.
But here they go. They still imply it. They go with Coco. Where's Coco? First, they sort of hinted that was Herschel because remember, for a while, Maggie's struggling, looking for Herschel. Where's Herschel? They're looking around. I don't know where Herschel is. Then they eventually find him. It sounds like he's about to get an ass whooping from one of the troopers. And then they come in and save the day. And the first thing they ask, where's Coco? She's like, I don't know where Coco is. I haven't seen Coco. And of course, with the warden, and we'll get into that. That's why I really don't want to go too much into it. But they plant that seed of there is no Coco. And I know for some people, like, well, they can't go that far. Well, they've gone that far before with other characters. And they really haven't invested too much time in Coco. So it's not like we're going to get a little montage of flashbacks of happy moments of Coco being tossed up in the air by Father Gabriel and her original baby daddy. No. We're not going to get that. But they have to give something sad. And then this can also trigger something in Rosita. I mean, she's already a badass. Remember, she's part of the trooper squad. She turned into, what's his name? Mercer's right hand, pretty much. Remember? When he was like, I need your back. I need you to suit up. We got to go out. Out of all the people, that's the one, the new person that joined the group. That's your go-to. So we know she has that in her. And even when she was a soldier, we heard that way back. Remember with her and Benjamin early on
Yeah.
in the early seasons, but this would definitely set her off. This would do the next notch if this happens. I feel like story wise for the cast, they haven't really done anything with her. They haven't really portrayed her as growing. They don't really bring her up. She's just like, well, she was good for the story at the time to have the child, but now it doesn't really fit. So for them to tease this the way they did, it's like this could be a memorable moment that if somebody says, hey, you still watch that Walking Dead, right? Anything crazy happened so far? This is the last season, right? That person can say, well, they did kill a baby. What? That I don't know. I just feel like there's got to be something memorable. And
There we go.
It's got to have it, right? It's got to have something. And this episode has to, well, this season has to have something because they gave away too much. We already know Negan as a spinoff. So there was no threat. So even though we had that scene where they put him up and they grabbed him, the warden, everybody was like, oh, this is it. We're going to put I'm like, no, you're not. That's not happening. Well, we'll get into all that. But anyway, I just wanted to get the Coco stuff out of the way.
I'll just spoil it for you right now since I can tell the future. It's definitely not going to be Coco. Number one, we don't have much emotional attachment to the character. We barely know who Coco. 70% of the audience doesn't even know who Coco is, who watched this show. I can guarantee you that. I do understand, your line of logic makes sense. You want a huge death that will make people talk, that'll make it more memorable for the audience, that'll give you an emotional gut punch through watching the series towards the end. Coco is just not going to be it. And obviously it's not going to be Daryl or Maggie or Negan. None of those people is going to be the character. Go ahead, Rich.
I'm gonna go ahead and make a comment and say I think everybody survives until the end because I can't think of an important character that could die that I would feel something. I wouldn't care if something happens to Eugene or Max or anybody in that storyline. So I kind of think that's what's going to end up happening.
And that's the sad part because if they didn't announce all these damn spinoffs, there would have been a lot of wonder. Because it was like, oh man, anything could have happened. They could do anything. Think about it. Right. Let's say we didn't know about the spinoffs, but we did hear about Jeffrey D. Morgan doing the Boys. So we don't know about a spinoff, but we know he's doing the Boys, and it's the final season of The Walking Dead. You start adding these together, this dude's gonna die. They're gonna kill him. That's what you would think, and that'd be great because then you would like, all right, well, how is it gonna happen? That's what we need to know. Then how it's going to happen. Well, we know that's not the case. He's got to show. Okay. Then Daryl, same thing. He's like, all right, he goes on all these crazy missions. He's always getting lucky. Even in this one, he had that one-on-one fight. Remember the trooper was on him, about to kill him, and Carol came to save the day. That whole thing. But then we know that he has his own show. If we didn't, that would have had even more tension because when we're watching this, I'm like, oh, this could be it. Maybe he gets seriously wounded and it's like a slow turn, one of those situations where it's like, oh man, he's eventually going to turn, but can he save the day before it happens? No. So when it comes to impactful deaths on the show that we don't know of their future plans with these characters, it would be Carol, because she's already said she's not doing the Carol and Daryl. So we know that. She says she still wants to be part of the universe, and they really do like her. So I don't see them killing her off. But if they want to, that would be a big one.
She's not dead. Carol, I can say she's not going to die because the whole Carol fiasco when it came to the spinoff, it happened just recently.
Yeah,
this show has been filmed, written, and recorded long before that. So I don't think Carol is going to be one of the people that's going to be gone.
Well, there goes that.
Yeah, I agree with you. Ezekiel is on the top of the rankings right now, followed by Aaron.
See now Aaron is up there. Yep, Aaron could definitely go now. They put Aaron in a lot of touching moments, especially with Lydia trying to play that parental role. And it's like, oh yeah, I've been there. I know love, blah, 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 blah. And you're trying to get that connection. Same thing with Jerry, right? Why is Jerry on this mission without his family to the safe place? I don't think they really explain that.
And by the way, I do want to, you mentioned, Adam, you like this episode. I didn't really like it that much. for a multitude of reasons. Number one, remember last episode we were talking about what they only got like 3 or 4 people from the group into this prisoner containment camp. Apparently not, because this episode it looks like everyone just came into the same camp. It's like Princess suddenly showed up out of nowhere. Jerry's wife appeared out of nowhere. There
you go. But that's what I'm saying. That keep going. Go ahead.
And check this. Negan was separated from his wife the last episode, and now they're reunited.
Yep.
She was on the other part of the work camp. Yeah, because that was in. We thought maybe she was on the bus with the others going back to Alexandria. Maybe that was the other community they were going to. Clearly, that wasn't the case.
Well, they are in Alexandria because that's where they were at the end. They were in Alexandria.
Outpost 22.
The Outpost 22, but that wasn't where they were working. They're working out in the yards.
That wasn't Outpost 22.
Yeah, that's something else.
But that's where they ended up at the
end. I think that's where for the case or whatever he wanted to do, the warden.
But at least do I make sense that last episode they got separated. It's like, oh man, Negan's gonna feel it. Now this episode, they're right back. The first scene of the episode, they're right back together. And I'm like, all right, why did you separate them then?
It was poor editing. Who knows? But I'll tell you this much. I'll tell you this is why I said this was a better episode, because it progressed the storylines on all fronts, and we actually got answers for a lot of these. One, we got that answer with the whole Negan situation. Hell, they did. I'll take a wrestling term. They hotshot this whole episode because the warden. They could have built that up. They could have built the mystique.
Yes.
It's like from beginning to end. He popped up and then he's dead. That was it. There was like no real build up. They just wanted to just throw in a big bad. And just when he's getting some good dialogue between him and Negan, where you can sort of see that he's underestimating Negan as a whole, because he was like, "Oh, I thought you were a leader, right? I thought you were something, but you're nobody. You got your own."
That could have been a scene like Negan when he showed up with a bat and everyone
was.
And see. And, I'm glad that you both said that, because what you said, Adam, that's exactly what I thought. They definitely could have built this guy up more, because even before Negan showed up, they did an excellent job building up to that character. Yeah. And then all the people that were believers of Negan and stuff like that, that's why they definitely could have done a better job of building up the warden. But it is what it is.
It was horrible. Yeah, it was horrible. He's got these great lines. I'm like, okay. He even gets his Negan type moment, which was that moment where, we'll get to it, but then he's gone. And that was upsetting. But we also got to see, we'll just get this out of the way, because I think this was the weakest part of the episode, because I just don't care about it. And that's the court case. The whole thing with Eugene. And they're doing the back and forth. And then they get Milton on the stand. And then Yukumo is doing the cross-examination. It's like, oh, well, your son said this and about the lottery is BS. And she was like, that was fake. That wasn't his voice. Your client, he altered the voice. I'm like, are you kidding me?
Yes, I agree. That was the worst part of the episode. It's a jury. Like, they're trying to make it like there's a judge, there's lawyers, the defendants, there's the prosecutors. But where the hell is a jury? Did they
where they were standing up? Those are the people standing up up on the balcony.
They never. Well, no, that was just the public. That was just.
I thought that was the jury, because they kept pointing to them. They didn't have seats. I never saw the jury, but we know
because those people were obviously on the side of Eugene, and if they were the jury, they would have said that he was not guilty. But apparently, this shadow jury that came out of nowhere, we didn't even get to see what they were thinking to convict him. That's the whole point of having a court case. What they did is they held this court case where it's like, okay, we're going to give some lines to Pamela Milton and to Yumiko, and then we're going to have fucking Eugene give his weird ass speech at the end. It's like, I know I've done some bad things, but I want to be good. I've been trying to do good, and like, save me with that. Well, we don't need that right now.
That message that was mainly for Mercer. That was just for all of them also to understand. It's like, yes, you want to feel safe, so you were looking to pull a blind eye to what's really going on here, but sometimes you have to stand up and do what's right. That's pretty much the message that he was giving. Because remember when he was part of the Saviors, when he worked on the Negan, he knew he was doing bad things, but he had it good. He had medicine, he had food, he had clothing, a safe place. He didn't have to run. So he looked past the fact that one of his friends, supposed friends, was getting beaten. Daryl was getting tortured. So it's the same thing. It's like you all want to pass judgment on me and all the stuff, but you know the truth. You know it's not perfect here. You know she's corrupt.
But he didn't. I like the way they edited this episode. It didn't even make it seem like that was the conversation or that was the speech that convinced Mercer, because he gave the speech. He was convicted and he was sentenced to death like an hour after that thing.
Yep.
But everything was already in place for Mercer. He already had his boys that were on his side that were ready to get Eugene to quote unquote fuck shit up.
Yeah. Well, that was even funny. That was very funny. First curse over here coming from Mercer. Well, and apparently it was improv. If you saw the after credits they talked about.
Yeah, I did see that. Let me just make a quick comment. I think this whole thing with Mercer, this should have happened in the episode when he had his conversation with Princess and she decided to leave. So I guess she didn't have an impact on him. It was Eugene. So
that's a good point. That's a great point.
It was dragged out. A lot of, and this is what we're talking about. Some of these episodes before the filler could have had all this sprinkled out. The Warden could have been 2 episodes, 3 episodes before, so that way we could have seen more of him and how mean he is. So when he gets his comeuppance, it's deserving. The same thing with Mercer and what he was feeling. Because I have a feeling though, when we find out that he had this plan, it wasn't because of the conversation he had with Yumiko. I don't think it's that. I think once Princess was taken, he had to come up with a plan. And so this just all helped him out to get things in motion, to get Eugene. What Eugene's role? Don't know. But I have a feeling the big factor is Princess. Because there's no way he's going to say, you know what, I looked past that and I was willing to go forward until, Yumiko told me about Eugene and that sad story. No. It's got to be Princess. It's got to be Princess.
I have a prediction.
So wait, hold on. So let me ask a quick question. And then
real quick. Just to connect why? Because remember, he also said he doesn't know where that other outpost is. Remember, he didn't know.
But wait a second. No, hold on. That's what I was going to ask. That's what I was going to ask. Carlos, you can go next. I promise. Let me just ask this question though. He said he does know that they were taken.
Yeah,
you saw that she was angry. So I wanted to ask you, Adam, how did you feel? Because
I think he does know, but I think his whole thing was he was trying to find out where, because he didn't know. Because just like what they said, how Milton likes to play people's heartstrings on different things. It's like, all right, I took your girl, right? But you don't know where I took her. And that's the whole thing. And someone else is in charge of her, which is the Warden. At no point did Mercer ever talk about a man named the Warden or a location. He doesn't know. So I think the way they're going to play the story out is that he needed that extra time to keep a low profile, to dig in and find out where did he take, where is this Warden and where is Princess and the rest of the group. And now he knows. And that's why now he can play his cards. But he couldn't at the time. That's one, because
All right, so let's hear what Carlos has to say, because it sounds like Adam, you should be writing this show if you were explaining a lot of stuff that they did not do a good job explaining. So maybe they need to hire you for the spin-offs.
Well, I'll see. I'll write some treatments. I'll send some treatments. That's how it works in Hollywood. You write a bunch of things, and then like this one person picks up. It's like, you know what? We'll buy this from you. We don't want you part of this project because I got my boys already, but we'll give you a few coins. All right, keep going, Carlos. What you got?
I think I have a strong suspicion and a strong feeling that Princess is going to die. Because Eugene, it just seems like the dude has been crying about his death for the last 6 episodes. It seems like, and we're trying to see here. It's like, all right, he got convicted, he got out, he got picked off, he's gonna have a court and all that stuff. So it seems to me like I don't think they're gonna go ahead and kill him now. They want him to have a happy life with Max, I guess. So my prediction was, because I'm always trying to figure out who are they going to kill. Who, Ezekiel is at the top of the power rankings. Aaron is right below him. There are, but I'm talking about characters that people actually like are super gravitated towards. Obviously, the top tier characters, the Maggies, the Daryls, the Carols, and the Negans are safe, and those are the top tier characters. But the middle tier characters, the princesses, the Aarons, the Ezekiels, for me are at the top of the list of the people that are probably going to get killed in this in this series. And Princess in particular, I feel like this is going to be some sort of, number one, Princess somehow, I think there's a clause in her contract that she can only appear in so many episodes, because for some reason she didn't appear in the first 2 or 3 episodes of the beginning of this part of the season. Then she appeared, and then she left, and then she didn't appear. And like, did she get captured?
They could maybe they're still under the social distancing protocols on set. They could be that. There's only so many that they could have.
I mean, if they're gonna do that, then put them instead of the other people that we don't know. And then she appeared in this episode, and I guess her dying would would have that whole Mercer effect where he's gonna lose his shit for losing her and probably feel guilty about it. Ezekiel.
All right, I have another little theory. Just before I go forward, I'm looking for his name. John Berthal. What was the name of his character?
Shane.
Okay, you ready for this? This is a deep dive, people.
He's not gonna come back.
This is a deep dive. No. He's definitely not coming back. But here's my deep dive. Because I was thinking about this. I was talking to somebody about The Walking Dead. It was last week, and they were like, "Oh, it's still going on." That whole shebang thing, and they were just bringing up all the people that died that were impactful, right? So we have Shane, we have Herschel Sr., we have the wife, right, that died,
the daughter as well,
Carl, right? But as I was rattling these names off, I was like, wait a minute, there's a pattern here. Why didn't I see it before? And you know what that pattern is?
They're all related to someone.
No. They all had some kind of contract disputes. They all either wanted out for some reason. Shane wanted out. He was done. Remember, there was financial issues. He wanted a new contract. They didn't get it, right, Jumper? So they're like, all right, you're done. Okay. The mom, the Rick's wife, whole thing, she wanted out. She didn't want to be on the show no more. Okay, boom, she's gone. Carl, the dad, and all that situation with the contracts. Okay, you're gone. So, and there's a few others that were also, and Herschel, same thing. Herschel got upset because of one of the writers. Was it the original show run writer, or one of the hires behind the scenes got fired? And remember that guy just recently won like this massive multi-million-dollar court case.
What was it? But Damon Lindelof?
I don't remember.
Oh, Frank Darabont.
Yeah. And then the guy was like, you know what? If he's not part of the show, I want out. And they're like, oh, all right, fine. And they did it.
Well, Adam, that totally contradicts your prediction, because I doubt Coco is old enough to be.
No. But the point is that I think this entire show, I was seeing this show wrong. I think the only person that would go against the grain is Glenn, but everybody else. Think about it. If they didn't have the issues that they had behind the scenes, they probably would have stayed on the show a lot longer.
Why did Rick and Michonne disappear?
Because of other projects. Rick wanted to go do other things. They put them in the movies. They wanted to do Michonne. I wanted to go do Broadway. She had other plans. So yeah, but the point that I'm getting at is that the show never had plans to be as gritty as I envisioned that it was in my mind, because the grittiness of all these characters dying and whatever, it's from the actors having their own disputes and wanting to leave. So I gave the show way too much credit from the beginning. There you go.
Let me just say, I think that is an excellent connection I want to say though, I don't know if that applies now because the show is ending. Like if
Yeah,
they have
exactly.
Oh,
another season,
no, it doesn't.
yeah,
But that's my point. It's that it
yeah,
doesn't. We're over here. I'm expecting something major, and isn't it? It's like they've never done anything major that was under their own accord. It was always because something pushed them to do that.
yeah, yeah.
You know, with Carl and the situation with his dad and the contract that pushed them to do it because they were like, "Man, we're not going to do it. We're not going to get more money. All right, you're done." You know, with what we just met with John Berthal and his character, no, that's it. We'll kill him off. But if they would have worked these deals out, these characters probably would have lasted even longer, if not already to this point. I don't think John Berthal, because I mean, he wound up doing amazing things, and I think Hollywood would have kept pulling that for him. But Carl definitely would have still been around. Maybe the mom, Carol, would. I think the Andrea, that was some other.
Yeah. Yeah,
She
Andrea.
had,
Yep.
she had some issues. She said she really didn't want to leave, but it
What
was
was homegirl's name? The black chick that ended up in Star Trek.
oh yeah. She had, I forgot her.
Sasha.
Yes, Sasha.
Sasha.
Yeah,
Sasha.
she
Yeah.
probably would have stayed around too, but she got that other job. It was to do the
Yep.
pilot, and it worked out. Discovery worked out. It's still going. It's also I try to follow it. It's all over the place.
So I mean that does, that is a good point. But like what Rich said, the show is ending. I mean, they're not going to carry over all of the characters into the spin-offs, unless they do like a Tales of the Walking Dead 2 or something like that.
But if whoever they kill, it doesn't matter at this point. Is what I'm saying. It's because we already know the big people, the main characters, they got other projects. So if they kill Jerry and Aaron, Ezekiel, you're killing the sub-tier characters at this point.
Oh yeah, I agree. So I'm with you. They need to kill someone, and I feel like they and they believe that they need to do that because they want that emotional impact somehow, some way. But they know that they can't kill off their main characters because they got spin-offs tied to them. Rick and Michonne, I have no clue what the hell's going on with them. Rich, we predicted when they're going to show up. Well, it's definitely going to be the last two episodes. And
the last episode.
Or probably the last episode, yeah. So Rich won that bet.
Shoot, maybe he won't even pop up on set. Maybe it's one of those things where
he's a hologram.
That's like a time flash. It was like 1 year later, and you just see Rick, at a compound.
Well, by the way, let me just throw this in here real quick. This is the same subject. I might as well say it since you brought it up. The Daryl spinoff show. There's another person that was spotted filming in the same location. And that has led to speculation that this person is going to be in the show. You want to take a guess who that person is?
Can I guess the gender? Is it a female?
No, it is not.
Oh, interesting.
It is not a female.
Yeah.
And it's somebody that's currently on the show. And
I never said that, actually. I didn't say that. So that should narrow it down.
He digs up his dead son from the fire, and he's still a walker, and he puts a leash on him, and he walks around with Carl like the way Michonne did. But he has evolved because of the chemicals in the soil, so he can now talk. So he is a walker who can talk. He can't jump. He doesn't have that ability, but he can talk and remember and comprehend conversations that he's having with his father while he's in walker form.
What is that? What is the name of that movie? A Fresh
Body. It's called Father and Dead Son. Father and Dead Son.
Father and Dead Son. Okay.
Well, Rich is talking about Daryl, the Daryl spinoff, right?
Yes.
Rich.
Yeah. Yes. Yeah.
But wait, what do you mean? We know he's. What do you?
No.
So let's go ahead and let's just say it. I think that Carlos knows who it is, but let me just say it.
Yeah.
Andrew Lincoln was spotted in France also, so that's leading people to speculate. Oh, he's probably a part of this show also.
But he has his own show too. So
yes, he does. And maybe that's the explanation. Maybe that will lead into his own show. I mean, who knows? But he was in France. Also,
And well, then, if anything, this means that The Walking Dead went to Andrew Lincoln. Because remember, the whole reason why he left is because he was tired of coming to America, spending 6 months out of the year away from his family. So they're like, "Don't worry, we will bring the show to you." You know, from England to France, that's a train ride. You know what I mean? It's like, yeah, let's
right.
yeah, exactly. Let's just go do wherever you want to do it over there, and you'll be happy. Yeah, all right, then we'll do this forever. And there you go. So, thank you. Thanks for letting us know, because now we know they brought the show to him.
Oh,
He's technically working at home. That's it. See what happened with this whole thing with COVID. Everybody works from home, and now he does. He gets to work from home.
I still think they need to have a Rick and Daryl reunion in this show,
Yep,
because
I agree.
we need that emotional payoff, because Daryl's always felt guilty about it, and I hope they don't do that resolution within a spin-off show. It should be in the show where it all happened.
Well, you guys already put the pieces together. That was it, because we know the first piece is that Daryl wakes up from a plane ride that he doesn't remember anything. Next you know, he's in Europe. Well, who picked him up and put him on that plane? Your boy Rick. He saved him, and he put him on the plane ride and says, "Yeah, I'll bring you back over there. I'll bring you back there, but I need your help here. You got to help me here in France."
By the way, is what's her name? Was it Lydia? No, it wasn't Lydia. Lydia's the young girl.
Alpha's daughter.
No, what's her name? Daryl's ex, I guess. I guess they were
Connie.
No. Connie is the new.
Oh, you're talking about Leah.
Leah's dead.
Yeah.
Wait, is she dead?
She's dead.
She
dead.
is.
She got killed. Remember, by Maggie. Maggie put one in her when she.
Yep.
Oh, when she.
Oh no! I mean, when Daryl put in one, when she was fighting Maggie, she was about to get the upper hand.
In the cabin, right?
Yeah.
Oh, okay.
Yeah, and Daryl, he put the end to that. Now the question is, where's Dog?
Oh, he was there. He was there. They just.
I don't know. I mean, he would spoil a lot of things, especially in this episode where we see that special ops mission with Daryl and Connie, that they're trying to get back into the Commonwealth. Remember, through the sewer tunnels? That's what it looked like.
Mm-hmm. You asked where's Dog? He's being held captive with the kids somewhere.
He's with the kids. That's it. And you know what? And that's probably it. And who knows? Maybe that's it. We'll see Judith, and then it's like, oh, where's Coco? And then she turns around and she's holding, Coco. She's like, well, I've been watching over Coco. I was like, okay, there you go.
Because we still, Coco, Rick Jr. and Judith is Aaron's
daughter. Aaron's daughter. They're all together still.
And also Jerry's kids as well.
Oh, damn. I think younger audiences won't get the joke with the Jerry's kids, but we do. And the connection with France. There you go. We got a trifecta there. Trifecta.
So, we still, it seemed kind of weird that we focused on Coco since, Daryl was there and, he sees Judith and Rick.
He wasn't there. Remember, he was on that. He was in that special mission.
No. I'm saying at the end when she's holding the guard. What's his name? The warden. And Daryl's there. So they made a more emphasis on Coco. But
wait, that's where they were going. You mean this whole episode got wrong? I thought that Daryl and Connie were trying to get back into the Commonwealth.
No.
So they were trying to get into Alexandria. Oh, see, I blanked out then. All right, there you go.
Yeah. So they went in through the sewers, and that's how they got the warden out of what is it?
Well, you know what? Well,
right in time.
Let's get into that whole part now. We're already done. There's no more with Alexandria. We got all that. So yeah, as you mentioned, we see so many more of the people there, and we pretty much knew that's where they were because Milton said they gathered everybody up. Right. So we're there. Again, the warden now, he gets his on-screen time, has that one-on-one, heart-to-heart with Negan, doesn't see Negan for who he really is, and then says, you know what, you're going to be my mule. You're gonna spew all the information. Go find out who it is. But he doesn't rat, even though has Negan has that heart to heart with Ezekiel, trying to open up. Ezekiel's still pissed, and when he said about his right hand that died, and the whole thing, remember that other dude? I forgot all about him. I was like, I don't even care. I don't even think the fans care. They probably don't even remember. I can see a lot of people watching this and pausing it and bringing up the Google. I'm like, who the hell is Ezekiel talking about? You know, but it should have been more than that. It should have been, hey, I lost my kingdom because of you. You know, you took a lot of people that are like, and then, but whatever, it didn't happen. So he pretty much blows off Negan, like, I'm not working with you on any of this stuff. And then the next thing we see that Negan is back with the warden in the office, and I'm sure a lot of people figured, well, this is Negan going back to his old ways. He's gonna rat out. But in between all that is what you brought up, Rich, is that when Negan is having that altercation with one of the soldiers. And then the wife shows up and starts running and starts fighting in the whole thing. And he did find that she was still trapped in here because remember she said that that she was going to get to him first. Like she made it seem like she was going to take out the warden. And that's the thing. We haven't seen much from that actress. We just know her as Negan's wife. But there's got to be some connection of her being a badass like the way he is. I don't see her being just like that passive, like, oh, yeah, well, you know, I just fell in love with him and his bat. No, and I'm sure she was. And we saw a little of that. She was feisty. She's fighting and stuff. She's pregnant. I thought maybe they were going to show something crazy, like the guard was going to slam her to the ground, you know? It's like, oh, yeah. No. But they said the baby's fine and all that.
So let me just add one comment. The one positive I will say about this episode, like you said, it tried to make you think as a viewer that Negan was going to go back to his old ways and rat someone else out. When you know, if you watch the show, because the last episode when he had that conversation with Ezekiel and he said, yeah, you'll all of you will probably get out, saying that he's probably going to be the one that ends up getting left behind. Mm-hmm. So it was a nice little editing with making you think that he was going to rat somebody out, but we knew already that was not going to happen. But I will give them credit and say, it kept the suspense, but again, this is why I was angry when I saw what happened, because we already know that this guy has another show. They've already finished filming the first season, actually, ladies and gentlemen. So,
wait, the first season? There's going to be multiple?
I don't know if it's. I'm not sure if it's going to be a second season, but they've already finished filming the show. So,
wow, I didn't even know that.
So
the house, what is it? House of the Dead? No,
Dead City. Dead City. Yeah, Dead City.
Dead City. Yeah,
Dead City is complete. Wow, very interesting.
Yeah. And so but then what's not interesting is what happens with the rest of this episode, because then, like you said, we know what's going to happen to Negan. So then he comes out, and they bring everybody to the yard. And then the warden gives his whole speech and says, all right, we got our rap, blah, blah, blah. Negan comes out. And then he flips the script and says, we're not going to have any martyrs here. And then he pulls out the wife. And it's like, all right, we're going to kill her. And she's going to have to pay for this. And then he says, that wasn't the deal. And then they keep handing to Ezekiel. And I'm sure, and myself included, I'm sure others that watch this were like, okay, this is when Ezekiel dies. Because he is going to step forward and say he is the one. You know? And so, sort of enough, that's what happens when he sees it, right? And I don't agree with the showrunner at the end over on the AMC Plus. If you watch it, the showrunner pops up and does a nice little talk over. And she gives her description of like, well, this is Ezekiel then just seeing that it's time for him to step in because of Negan and all that. No, I don't think so. I think it was more about just he didn't want innocents to die. I think he would have never jumped in if they just said, all right, put the gun 3, 2, 1 and blasted Negan. He would have let that happen. I think it was more of the innocent that has nothing to do with Negan. It's not like, oh, wow, I see he was willing to sacrifice himself for us. He could have done the cowardly thing and just say, oh, I know who's the guy doing all this. It's Ezekiel. Now, can you let me and my wife go? Or, that type of thing. And he didn't do that. But so, he steps forward. Well, go ahead.
And sorry, Rich, I gotta interject before I forget.
No, go ahead. Yeah.
Negan, the scene, it would have been a much better scene if it was Negan's wife on her own. It's like saying, okay, so you confessed, Negan. Okay, so what we're gonna do is we're gonna make you suffer. We're gonna take your wife away from you. So they're gonna put her in the thing, and and have like the people, you know, pointing their guns, and that'll be something that we're like, oh man, oh, are they gonna kill her? Like that'll be suspenseful, because we don't know what the hell happens with her, but we do know what happens with Negan. And when they put her and Negan on the same sort of firing squad, we know they're going to be safe.
Yeah. So you know what it could be
agree.
also? It could be the writers not sure if, because we know, because we follow it. But for the casuals who just tune in on Sundays to watch their zombie show, are they Googling and trying to find out what's going on with these characters when this series is over? Maybe not. And so to them, there was a serious threat that maybe, hey, there's a possibility Negan will die in this episode.
Well, that's possible, but I also want to address this elephant in the room, is that Jeffrey Dean Morgan, when they announced the spinoff, even he was surprised that they announced it as early as they announced it. So that's why I said They definitely ruined that, because there was no reason to announce anything. Honestly, they could have waited until the show was ending and then announce it at the very end of that this is the other shows coming, if you know, in the future or something like that.
And I mean, you know, the casual viewers might not be, you know, privy to all this stuff, but this was directly announced. This wasn't leaked. This was directly announced to the fans. To the hardcore Walking Dead fans.
That's what I'm saying. It said it was on their official Twitter. They were sending these things out. It's a shame. There was no need for that. But yeah, so they pointed and like, all right, well, do we really care if this happens? It's sad. Yeah, if Negan's wife dies and they do this whole thing, that would be horrible. And it would definitely give a plus to the warden being ruthless. Go ahead.
And if they killed Negan's wife, it'll be sad as hell. Because Negan is coming through a redemption story. He found someone, you know, we saw his backstory was one of the best ones. His flashback was one of the best ones we got in this whole series. And knowing that he's found someone that he might have loved as much as, you know, his first wife, would have been freaking tragic. But we didn't get that because I don't think the show is as ruthless as it used to be.
Oh no!
Now, here's the question: do y'all think that character can still die within the next 2 episodes, or is she going to make it till the end?
She's in the power rankings. She's definitely in the power rankings, along with Ezekiel, Aaron, and Jerry.
And in fact, you know, let's just finish up this part with that, and then we'll get to where Jerry and Aaron on them. Because once Ezekiel steps forward, the rest of the original group step forward as well. So they all line up. And this was the funny part, because this is something when we first saw this group in this work camp and all this stuff, and then the troopers talking tough to them. It's like, oh, we'll kill you. You're not going to kill all of them. You need this workforce. And then this comes back when the warden's like, all right, well, just line up and shoot them all. That makes no sense. That's not how these things work. You need them. If not, then you're out of the job, warden, because who are you in charge of? Who are you watching over? If you kill all the prisoners and your workforce, then you're useless. You just have a bunch of troops.
I agree with what you're saying. It makes no sense. But I will also say that I laughed at this moment as well, because it's like it was a little corny to see everybody just come out and all of a sudden we are going to stand against these people with guns, because in real life they would just shoot them all anyway. So I thought that was funny, but I will say this: it was good that they played on the emotion of the guard, because you saw earlier in this episode that he also was trying to get to his family and was denied that.
He was trying to get transferred. He was trying to get a transfer, and that was denied. And then Negan overheard that, and he brought that up. So you have family? Look what they do with my family. You have family. You know, I think the best line was when Ezekiel came out and he's like, "Yo, the world is already broken." And I was like, "We don't need to do this." And I mean, that is really true. It's like, think about it. You're trying to implement these old school ways of thinking and doing things, fighting amongst each other and doing this. Meanwhile, the real enemy is the dead. They're overrun to everything. You really don't have space, and you have other maniacs that are trying to take over and stuff. Like, what is going on here? It didn't fit. And at least we see one of the troopers gets that moment in awakening and puts his gun down. and then that's when, you know, all hell breaks loose. There's chaos, there's fighting and all this stuff. And Rosita beats up the warden, gets him, and then the walker comes and all this shit bastard. She's like, where's my daughter? Where's my daughter? And he said something to effect like everybody ends up paying or losing or something like that. trying to imply it's like, well, hey, you lost your kid, sorry, which makes no
I will
sense. But
I will say this, with a lot of the things that I had negative to say, I will mention the positives as well. Rosita getting that armed zombie, I guess, walker, when he
Yep.
turned and
yeah,
putting him to his face, that was pretty badass. I was like, damn.
Yeah.
take it.
Very, very, very graphic. Look like he bit the guy's eye.
Yeah,
Bit his eye out. Yeah, that was pretty graphic.
that's what they
And
call
That
the
was good.
straight to the eye tactic.
you
Yeah,
see, and what sucks is, and this is what I was saying with the hot shotting, is that we just got introduced to this warden, and like, okay, he could be the big bad. I could see him going a step forward, maybe whatever falls apart with Milton, and this guy is now in control, and he goes one-on-one with Mercer's groups. Like, I have some of the force, Mercer has some of the force, that type of thing. But no, he's gone. He's dead. This is it. He's done.
yeah.
And it just doesn't work, because then, right, let's say if we take back to what Mercer said at the end of the episode, it's time to fuck shit up. It's like, well, you are the head of the military force for the Commonwealth. They have posters of you. They glorify you. You are their Castro. You know what I mean? Like, you are their man. You're the military leader. You are in control. They're going to follow you. I don't see anyone saying, you know what? I'm going to follow Milton. That doesn't make any sense. He's your boss. He's your leader. If he is that respected by his underlings, then they're going to follow him to the ends of the earth. If he says, you know what, I'm done with this, we're taking over, I don't like what she's doing, they're going to say, yeah, you're right. You're the boss. You're the commander. I'm following you all these years in the combat. I'm definitely following you now. That's why I felt like it would make more sense if we had the warden come to play in a bigger role, because I don't see Milton as, it doesn't make sense. I don't see her playing a power role in that way.
And that's why I was complaining. That's a weak final villain, so to speak.
Yeah. Oh yeah, it is. It is because we don't even see her with an army. We don't see her with anything. She doesn't have any of that. She's never shown to have any of that. If anything, the person that she makes it seem like she has is Mercer, and we know that's not the case. So if he turns about face, then what? Then it's over. That's it. We got it's a case closed. There's no big battle going on here. I just don't see where else it's gonna go. Man. So anyway, we'll get to the last part, and the last part was with Aaron and Jerry, Lydia, and Snake Eyes. That's what I call them. And as they're on their way to Oceanside, and then they come across two people I swore were dead like a few seasons back. I completely forgot about this dude. And I still forgot about him now. I forgot his blanking on his name, but they come across these two, and they said, "Oh, we're at Oceanside. It's overrun by the troopers over there. Don't go there. Don't go there." I was like, okay. I don't know about you, but I don't trust him. Something about the way he was describing everything, and he's like, "Yeah, maybe I should have stood and fight and do that," but I figured maybe not. Let's just run. We gotta go. Yeah, we were looking for you guys. That's right. We were looking for you guys. We're gonna warn you guys not to come to Oceanside, which makes no sense. So you were gonna head to the Commonwealth?
I think that would be a great twist, but I think it would be a better twist if it's a character that I actually care about. I don't care about this guy. If this was someone else that we saw that disappeared and then they come back and they actually are working against the good guys, then it's more meaningful. But I agree. That was a very little fishy conversation. I guess they just randomly wanted to let you know there are other people that still exist out there, but I guess they wanted to bring them back for this purpose.
Yeah, that's it. Or maybe they're like, well, we really never showed him die. And it's like, oh, guess what? Connie's alive and everybody's good. And speaking of that, is Kelly dead? I couldn't really tell. Did she die?
No.
She's not dead. Okay, I couldn't
Kelly,
swore.
they literally saved her in the end.
That's what I wasn't sure. All right.
Well, and I don't think this character is going to turn. Number one, for Rich's reasons, that no one really cares for that type of turn. Number two, he already kind of proved his, like they made a case, like they made a point that he proved this, like he earned his stripes a long time ago. And number three, he just came back. Like he's not going to come back to the third to last episode just for the plot twist.
Yeah.
And I do have to go back to Alexandria. or aka Outpost 22. One thing that did kind of irk me is the other characters other than Ezekiel and Negan and Negan's wife, I guess. But there was a whole bunch of other characters that were part of the group that didn't get to say hardly anything. Princess did not say anything. Kelly did not say anything. Who else? I understand why Jerry's wife didn't. But what's I always forget her name. She was with Kelly and Yumiko and that group and Connie.
The girlfriend.
Magma.
Magma. Yeah. Magma.
She didn't say anything. Like it kind of sucks that you have characters that we've been with for years now, especially like someone like Princess who's been very very prominent.
She had a few lines in this one. I mean, that's how we knew she was even there. She just spoke up.
They just showed her.
She talks to Ezekiel.
I don't even remember what she said. But like they don't get enough. I feel like they didn't get enough shine. Like I understand why Ezekiel and Negan are the like sort of the pivotal characters of these scenes, but they could have at least tried to make it so like they were somehow involved in anything. They are just there, like giving out the pit. Like they just did that quick highlight scene at the beginning where it's like 2 outposts here, 3 outposts here, or whatever, and that's it. That's all they had to contribute to the episode.
Yeah, but I think that was all a setup because he wanted to meet the warden. Negan wanted to find out who the boss was, and he knew if he had planted something, the troopers would have to bring it to a higher up, and the higher up would then want to speak with him. Because that's what he kept saying. He was like, who's in charge of it? They were like, you're never going to see him. None of your business. So he had to do something that would trigger that reaction of like, all right, we have to take him to the boss. And we got to meet him, but it was so quick. And yeah, everybody else, I think there's just not enough time. All the serious conversations of the craziness we didn't get. We wound up getting a lot of dragged out dialogue behind the scenes for Milton, and then with the whole court case and all that stuff. There was no reason for any of that when we could have been telling all these other stories of what was going on. And here we go. So now what do we see at the end of that part with Aaron and them? They're headed back now to the Commonwealth, and they're walking among the walkers. Lydia was like, hey, we're going to do that. We're going to do what I used to do. That gets the Whisperers. We're going to walk amongst the dead, and we're going to get past these guards because we see that there's a whole group of the troopers, the same ones that were at Oceanside. They're now on the road. So they're just staying their distance from the Horde. And Lydia and the group are using the Horde to head back to the Commonwealth. So that was a waste of a trip. Everything they did.
So let me get this straight, because I am glad that you explained that, because I was confused. So their plan is to have this horde go to the Commonwealth, while our other heroes are going back to Alexandria to rescue the people that are there right now. Is that what the plan is?
Yeah, because they don't know. Yeah, those walkie-talkies don't have that serious range. So there is no way.
So it sounds to me like that group heading towards the Commonwealth, there may be some casualties in that group then, because you got the walkers there, you have the guards. That's a much more hostile environment. But we'll have to wait and see what happens.
Yeah. I mean, they didn't mention anything about Aaron and them didn't mention anything about going to Alexandria instead. They were just headed to Oceanside. And once the guy said, yeah, don't go there. And then Aaron's like, well, all right. And he just turns around and it's like, yeah, all right, let's go back. So, which is weird too, because then they also know that they have to leave. Remember, he did know that they all had to leave the Commonwealth. So where are you going? It would have been nice if he said, well, we're going to go to Hilltop, or maybe we should go to Alexandria, because they do know that some people were going to go to Hilltop. I don't know. It's weird. The whole thing, if you think about it, none of it really starts making sense when you think too hard about it, because eventually they were going to go to Alexandria, and that means eventually they would have seen the big 2-2 on the front gate. I'm like, wait, what just happened here? It's like, oh, it got taken over. I was like, well, you can come inside and work with everybody else on the farm. You could do that. But man, I don't know. I feel like we got some answers with this. At least the court thing is over. And that was my fear, that this was going to drag out to the bitter end. And it's close. It's close. It's to the 9th hour here. We only got 2 more. And so I was like, but at least it's done. That's done. The warden thing, I was really shocked. I was thrilled that we got to see him. Like, okay, they didn't keep hiding us. But, oh, wow, he's gone. Okay, there goes that. What else? That whole segment, that thing about that whole area, it's gone. All the soldiers are gone. I guess there weren't too many of them, and the warden. So they took that area back. So that's a plus. If anything, I'm sure they'll say that there's more people that we didn't see on camera. They'll probably have a conversation like, how many people do we have here? I don't know, a couple hundred. Okay, there you go. There's your army. Add the CG when it comes into an overhead shot of like a war. But again, who's the big bad? Who are you fighting? You're getting everybody together to go to the Commonwealth to fight who? Because Mercer already has his group, and there is no other big bad on the other end. Milton is governor, but we have not seen a force behind her. So I don't see that. So even if Rick shows up, it's like, I don't think it's to save the day. I don't think it's one of those situations. He just shows up because he shows up. Unless the Civic Republic has some kind of connection. If Milton calls in for assistance and she was like, I need to call in for backup. And we see that she had that connection with the Civic Republic. And they come out. And now there's your big bad. It's the troopers and it's the group, the survivors of Alexandria and Hilltop, all fighting the Civic Republic. But then how do you link that with Rick? Is he part of that group? Because they saved him or kidnapped him, whichever way you want to see it. I don't know. A lot of holes and only 2 episodes to fill those. And I've missed the days of when they were doing those hour-and-a-half episodes. But from what I understand, we're not getting anything like that. This is just standard 1 hour each. They're not going to do, the series finale, 2-hour special. I don't think we're getting that. All right. Well, you got anything else to say before we close this out? Because that was it, man.
I just was going to say that's a missed opportunity that they're not going to have an extended finale, but it is what it is. So I look forward, I guess, to seeing what happens. Though
their way of saying extended finale would be the spinoffs. That's their extended finale. They're like, you want to know what happened to your favorite characters? All right, well, go ahead, set your DVR.
Choose your own adventure.
Yeah, there you go. Choose your own adventure. Go watch Dead City. Go watch whatever we call this Michonne and Rick one. Go watch the Daryl one. I'm sure they'll make a few other ones. Maybe they'll have a cartoon. Who knows? Anything is possible. They'll do an anime version. Man. But we will see. All right, people. Well, there you go. That was our review and coverage for season 11, episode 22, Faith. The Walking Dead Mothership. This is the final season, people. So thanks again for following us over on iTunes, Spotify, and YouTube. Again, if you want to leave any comments, got any questions, want to jump into the discussion, then you can leave all that over on YouTube. Put your comments there. If not, just keep doing what you're doing. Keep listening and following us, and then that all works out. Check us out on the Koalition main website. And we got reviews, interviews with cast members, all kinds of stuff going on there. And we will be back for next week. This is it, man. Next week has to be. I feel like a broken record every time we say that, but I feel like next week. I mean, we got some things got answered this one, which is fine. That's why I gave this a thumbs up, because I was like, all right, you didn't keep dragging it. But next one, man, really, and especially with the closing line of like, it's time to F shit up. That Mercer said. It better happen next episode. Okay, I don't. I mean, Hornsby is already dead. Sebastian's already dead.
Stay tuned for the Mercer spinoff.
Right, exactly. Mercer spinoff. Mercer and Princess out on a Jeep. I don't know. All right, people. We'll be back next week. Thanks again. Peace, and go look at the flowers.
Jesus.